Groundbreaking PvP gameplay changes coming. Learn more on February the 12th. Greetings heroes, in 2025 Overwatch 2 is going to be packed with groundbreaking changes to the PvP experience that will be unlike anything you've seen before, will they? But it's going to take more than a blog or developer update to let you know what's coming this year. So on Wednesday, February the 12th, I Can't Talk, tune into our YouTube and Twitch channel for a new live stream event, Overwatch 2 Spotlight. Not only are we looking at incredible changes how the game is played. Look, yeah, I'm not having a stroke, that's just misspelled. But you'll get a glance at new heroes, new maps, and even more content coming this February and beyond. So be sure to grab your favorite peanut butter flavored snack and tune in Wednesday, February the 12th. We're also inviting dozens of your favorite Overwatch 2 content creators, but not me, to Blizzard Entertainment in Irvine for a unique chance to get hands-on and live stream the new gameplay you'll see in Overwatch 2 Spotlight. Pick up a skin, nobody cares, whatever. Watch 1 hour, where you watch 1 hour of the greatest streams. Okay, watch an hour of the stream, apart from me, get a skin, whatever. Sounds good. Okay, so 4.1 million views, that's pretty good. Honestly, for an Overwatch thing, pretty damn good. Right, let's go. Let's go to you, and let's go pull this over. You get over here. Let's pull you up here, and let's reveal the tier list. Oh, God. Let's just pull that there, pull that there. Right. So, down here, I've got an extra copy. Ignore the extra copy. We have all the things that you have said. Let's go. Tier list. First ever tier list I've seen from Ralph. Yep. So, how we're going to do this, right? This is a rating from high to low on likelihood of actually happening, okay? So guaranteed. And then we have an additional one for each one where we're going to rate whether they're good or whether it's bad if they are implemented. So this slot is going to be the most good. This slot is going to be the most bad, okay? Very simple. And then as you go out here, it's going to be less bad and then more good as you go through it. All right, pretty simple. Roadmap's guaranteed, and it's good that we're getting a roadmap. Very simple. I'm happy we're getting a roadmap. Let's... the wonder if this is legitimate or not. Let's be honest, it's not. But whatever, doesn't really matter. Roadmap is good. We're happy with roadmap. Don't think that's real? I feel like it's not real. For instance, Return of SR, that's just an old SR picture, right? 6v6 competitive, sure, HP changes. They've literally got 6v6 comp, returning SR, which, why would they return SR? I don't really get it. Like, the system they have is exactly the same as SR. It doesn't make any difference. So it's just SR by another name. It's literally the same system. HP and Hitbox, that's just reverting Season 9. And then Hero Bands, no shit. Gothenburg. And then Rose Gold Guns, yeah, that's been announced. So there's no new information here. And if there's no new information, it's probably wrong. As to what's going to be on the roadmap, it's coming, whatever. We'll just move on. Revert Season 9 changes. So this is health pools and hitboxes. Do you think they're going to revert the Season 9 changes? This is going in the good category no matter where it is, right? Probably not. Zero chance. Maybe. I'm going to say that quite a lot of the content creators have turned around on the Season 9 changes recently. Spylo's turned around, and he's outright said on his stream that he's turned around on it, and he doesn't really care for it. They have reverted all of the sharp damage sources that they purposely nerfed as well. There's loads of Season 9 changes that are just gone from the game already. Now, I think they wouldn't want to lose their hitbox increases, because I think the hitbox increases are the thing that makes it better for the lowest ranked player to actually engage with the aiming system, personally. I think that matters less if they go back to 6v6, but obviously we'll get there soon, than it does in the 5v5 format, because in 5v5 everyone kind of has to interact with the aiming system, otherwise they lose immediately. You can't just heal bot, you can't just AFK and other stuff like that. I have a bottle of Coke here. The hitboxes are fine. I'm low rank. Yes. So I have a theory. I have a theory that they can remove the increased health pools without changing their hitboxes, and the game wouldn't really change that much after people adapt. I think it's going to take probably about 2 weeks of people playing and complaining hard if they did do that. I think it would take a couple of weeks, but realistically, once people realize the damage coming into them is more, well, just like a little bit higher, or they're dying a bit sooner, people adapt to that, and people more or less don't die at random quite as often. So I think we could just do their health down, and then hitboxes stay the same. Right? I think that could happen. I don't think there's a reason not to do that. Personally, for me, I think I think it always comes up that there's an additional bracket of health that people can be in, right? So you can have the 225 health, you can have the 200, you can have the 175 and stuff like that, right? Volume didn't go down. Damn. Okay, I just didn't turn it down enough. That's cool. Yeah, so there's the additional brackets, and the additional brackets are different balancing that you can have. I don't think that really checks out in practice, personally. Like, I don't think it checks out. Because realistically, they've got enough knobs to balance with regardless. But I'm open to that as a counterexample of why the health pools are being increased is good. The difference really is the difference between the tank health pools and the DPS health pools. That's what really matters, right? The percentage multiplier, right? Whether it's 2 times or it's 3 times or stuff like that. As long as the tank health pools are proportionately bigger, then support happens differently to DPS than it does tanks. And basically what we're talking about is being able to heal somebody up with a Harmony Orb on an angle and have them beat a tank in that 1v1 duel because they got a little bit of healing. It kind of like, as the health pool disparity increases between the two, the difference between low healing sources and high healing sources gets averaged out by the reliability of hitting that healing source. So Harmony Orb always being on a Tracer becomes worse when you increase the health pools, right? And I don't think the decrease to that disparity is doing them very well in terms of balancing, but I don't know what they're going to do. So I think it's good if they do revert Season 9 changes. I don't think there's anything compelling left in Season 9. I think they can revert everything but the hitboxes and probably be fine after a week of complaining. Depends where they want to go through that complaining. Where do we want to put it? How likely? People said no. I think they'll do the reverse route. Revert hitboxes and keep HP, which will be funny as shit. Yeah, the worst of all worlds. Probably? Do you think it gets to probably? Unlikely, since doing both is not very likely at all. Well, we'll say some form of this. Some sort of revert to Season 9 changes. I think we put them together, or we could have split them up. I think it's possible they go through with it. I think we put it in maybe then. Unlikely or maybe at most. Yeah, so we're leaning between unlikely and maybe here. Solid maybe if we do one of them. Yeah, if we count for one of them, I think solid maybe is probably reasonable. I'm reckoning not quite as large hitboxes. They put Widow down to pre-Season 9. Yeah, maybe there's just some hitbox changes, not all of them, and other stuff like that. Specifically on health pools, that's a hard one. Maybe I should have split this up into the two, but we'll keep it like this for now. Maybe if together, probably if partial, fair enough. Right, new hero, that's guaranteed. That's obviously been announced. New map, we're going to barrel in with that because I don't think I have a new map down here somewhere. There's another roadmap. Get out of here, roadmap. Cool, so new hero, new map, definitely coming out. Regardless, like that's just guaranteed by their announcement. They don't invite people up to Blizzard HQ and not show them a new hero and a new map every single time by the looks of it. Hero bans. Okay, so they were asking, Alex Dawson was asking if there's any systems from Rivals that they want to introduce into Overwatch, right? I am split on hero bans for Overwatch. I think hero bans are probably good at high level. I don't really think that they cause good incentives for the devs in terms of actively balancing the game. I think they cause poor incentives, but I'm willing to allow, right? I'm willing to allow. I don't hate hero bans. I just don't think they're the savior of all goodness like everyone else seems to think they are. So I don't care if this is good or bad. How likely do you think hero bans is? Personally, I'd say probably yeah, sure, fine. Surefire. It's a hard one because I think this is one of the systems that they probably had some sort of implementation already in some build because it's something they tried in the past and they never released it. So maybe they've already got some groundwork done for it. It's like the PVE stuff where they've got the groundwork, so it's more likely to happen. So I think there's a good chance of this. They've been against hero bans for a very long time. Well, Jeff was against hero bans. I don't think I've heard anything from Aaron on them. Anyone heard anything from Aaron on hero bans? They're announcing the Prime Double Shield Overwatch Classic to go through and connect all of the different versions of Overwatch that are really bad that they've announced. We're showing you all the old versions of Overwatch that were Here you go. Enjoy. We're just going to chain them together. Moth meta. Yay. Everyone wants to play Moth meta. Wait a minute. Wasn't Moth meta bad for a reason? They've implemented plenty of things they said they'd never do. I think it definitely bumped up above maybe, personally. Okay, clan system. Okay, if anyone doesn't know what we mean by clan system, we mean a group of people that have signed up to be a group of people and have a kind of like matchmaker based off of their average SR that they queue into as a team. We are talking about like a 66 ranked queue system. They announced this at some point in the past. Jeff teased this. And then it went away the way of the dodo. I think it was like in 2018 that Jeff mentioned it. They were definitely working on this as a Blizzard feature between every single product on Battle.net. They were definitely working on this at some point. There's no way they got the developer time to make that. Well, as we saw the other day, apparently it takes 1,500 hours to make a matchmaker. I don't know how that works. Be so good on the social aspects of the game and dodging toxic people on your team. I think the thing that I hate most of all about online games is online games have this amazing repository of like just standard things that people like, which is the ability to just pick up a game with your mates and go out and find like other, and they've removed all the boundaries to doing this, like this casual game. And then all they've replaced this with is turning up to a park whenever you want and playing a bit of footy instead of having a 6v6, right? It's kind of this like, why don't we have both systems? There's no reason not to have both systems. This is the kind of system that normies like for the most part, right? I team up with my mates. I do a random like friendly game with somebody else. People like this for the most part. Doesn't make sense anymore in that sense that they're owned by Microsoft. Obviously, we're talking about just in Overwatch here. They're adding FIFA? Maybe. Okay, so yeah, I'm putting it unlikely. Do you think it's no chance? Personally, I'm happy for the clan system. I don't think there's any problems with clan system being put in the game. I think it would fail because they'd implement it poorly and put no incentives in there to use it. Don't get me wrong. But I like it as a concept. Unlikely is good? Okay. Right, tournament system. This is an offshoot of the clan system. This is in Rivals. This is in Valorant. This is a common thing for these type of games. Really goes hand in hand, but doesn't have to. What do you think? Tournament system. I think it might be more likely than a clan system, personally, as a group up tournament. No chance, not before clans? Really? Tournament, if present, will be done via Faceit? Maybe, yeah, maybe. Would make sense to call it groundbreaking? Exactly, we're looking for groundbreaking changes. Tournament system would completely change the game. What I'm thinking of is every week on a Saturday, you queue up for this specific thing, exactly in the same way that Marvel Rivals has done it, with your team that you can queue in to just ranked play with, and then you queue into this tournament, see how far you go, get rewards from it, that type of thing. Could be multiple changes while making it groundbreaking. Yeah, they're reverting season 9, going to 6v6, removing the Overwatch 2 branding. Yeah, sure. Solid probably? I can see this happening, right? Let's put it into probably. I don't think it's a surefire thing. I don't think it's guaranteed. Guaranteed or surefire? Really? You think tournament system definitely coming? From groundbreaking as the phrasing, I think it definitely bumped up by just that, right? I think I'm probably going to leave it in the probably category. I think it's a little bit too hard to say that it's a surefire. I don't want egg on my face. Right, next one. Drop the Overwatch 2 branding, okay? Drop the Overwatch 2 branding. How likely is it that we revert to Overwatch, right? How likely is it? Just Overwatch. In this copium? Is this copium, guys? Corpa won't have it. No shot, but please. But Corpa does know about how bad their reputation is, right? They must know about that. Bobby pump and dump the company by increasing the stock price by going to Overwatch 2. I think Microsoft would be quite pissed off about that because the actual value add from Blizzard is a lot less than they thought it was because they put the 2 on the end there. And they pretended that they were actually making this game, and so Bobby got a little bit more money. So I feel like they must know about this, right? Do you think all the Blizzard employees know Overwatch 2 was a facade? Yes, of course. Of course they do. I mean, most of them have been fired. Anyone that was back then and got actively gaslit or lied to by Jeff, definitely. I mean, they were producing a PVE game instead of a PvP game. Let's be honest, like it was a facade, and if they weren't working on Overwatch 2 PvP, then it was a facade. Would it really do anything to go back to Overwatch? Not in and of itself, Hoover. Not in and of itself. You need more, yeah. If anything, they just stopped mentioning the 2 in their communications. I don't think by itself this would do anything. Do you think it's unlikely, or do you think it's likely to actually happen? I think it's unlikely, but not no chance. I think that's why I put it. Respecting their audience, so no chance. Depends what the higher ups think. Yeah, I don't think it would be done silently. I think it would have to be a full marketing campaign with a bunch of other changes. I don't think this announcement is big enough for a big marketing push behind dropping Overwatch 2 branding, which is why I'm putting it down a little bit. Sunken cost fallacy? Yeah, well, there's always a sunken cost fallacy until somebody checks reviews and sees how bad the average opinion is. It only takes one person switched on higher up to actually to tell that there's no value in the brand. I don't think they'd ever do it for the bad PR that everyone would start spewing. Yeah, I mean, it would have to come with pretty much a full what am I saying? Admission that the Overwatch 2 project was probably failed from the beginning, right? It would have to come with a lot. If they want to go through with it, this would be the time to do it, actually. It would need a big change, and this is supposedly the biggest change the game has seen in years. Yes, this is the time to do it. I mean, their playership's declined by like 40% since Rivals released. I mean, if you're going to do a big gambit, this is the gambit. I don't think higher-ups care if it makes money. That's untrue. That's the only thing they care about. They might be dumb about how to make it make money, but they do care if it makes money. Quarterly profits are the only thing that matters. What I'd see happening is they're making a really good cinematic alongside dropping the Overwatch 2 branding. A bit like the marketing push for the launch of Overwatch 2, but better. But for the cinematic, not... See, the problem with that is the pretty obvious that the entire cinematic department, for the most part, has been fired and aren't coming back anytime soon. All the cinematics are being outsourced. So if they have an outsourced cinematic, I mean, maybe. But it's not going to come from the in-house cinematics team like it did before. Do you think there might be an actual change of content schedule, so more than 3 heroes per year? Maybe we should add that. You know what? I'll add that to the list at the top. Change of content schedule. It could be. Goodwill is a quantifiable resource that can be estimated and valued at a monetary amount. Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, you're right. They care about money, but goodwill can have a monetary value. Yep. There's 100% business decisions towards dropping the Overwatch 2 branding. It's not just, it's not necessarily just cynical, though it is cynical, if you get what I mean. Third person mode. I'm going to keep that in unlikely. Third person mode, what do you think? I think they do it to mix it up for a funsy, right? I think they do it for a funsy into kind of like an arcade mode. Straight up no chance. The question is, would that be relatively easy to implement, or would it be really hard to implement? This is just something that I skimmed off Reddit earlier. Z-tier? Copium bad? No chance bad? I don't think anyone's copiuming for third person mode. Paladins has a third person toggle for casual. You could already implement it in the workshop. Yeah, well, there's a question with it being implemented versus being implemented properly. Third person mode take a little bit more demand on your aiming stuff and things like that, right? They already technically did that in the prop hunt mode. I mean, third person's a bit janky in general in shooters, because you have to do the correction for what surface you're aiming at. By the way, has anyone noticed in Rivals the weirdest jank? If you aim at a wall close to you, that's closer. That's closer than a wall further away. You'll actually, if you just move to the side, you'll actually just go like directly at this wall. But on this wall, you'll go like less steep at it. You'll actually like travel in a different path. That's some of the jank for a third-person camera there. By aiming into the distance, you actually significantly change the path you'd be dashing. Yeah, it's just third-person camera. It is. Right. Yes. So third-person going down the bottom. Clash removed permanently. Do you think Clash is going to get removed? Just straight up removed, slashed, killed. What do you think? I think this is the worst reception any player, any map type has had in the history of Overwatch. I don't think there's any person that stands by it. I don't think anyone likes it, apart from Didac. Rest in peace, Didac. Copium? You don't think it's going to get removed? Removed/reworked? Obviously, any type of removal I'm fine with. What's wrong with Clash? Anthos? That's a bad opinion. Don't bring it here. I like it. August? That's a bad opinion. You don't have to share that with the class. Rivals was just asked Fortnite for the camera? Maybe, yeah. If anything, I see new Clash maps. New Clash maps? I fucking hope not. Back to 2CP? It's already removed from Pro Play? Is it removed from Pro Play? What? Oh no, for tournaments, because people don't put it in the map pool, yes. I don't like Clash, but I like the idea of more modes. I'd like it to be fixed. Clash of the game mode is not going anywhere. Yeah, I mean... I don't think there's no chance though, guys, right? I would say remove Flashpoint instead. Yeah, kind of. Flashpoint is a lot better since they put the speed boost in spawn though, right? I think Clash is the worst reception any game mode's ever had. But I think it's not a good chance that they actually remove it. Too much work to throw away. It depends if they could rework it into something else. I definitely think those two maps are beyond saving and need significant map changes in order to actually be good. Not sure if you have it on the list, but Multiqueue for different game modes might be good. Okay, I'll put Multiqueue for different. So Clash move permanently. No chance? Probably no chance. I think there's a small chance, right? A very small chance here. You know what? Let's add a row below. Let's go. Good. Oh, what happened? My good. You go up. Unlikely. Did I kill unlikely? Is that what happened? Bad. Very unlikely. Good. And then we'll add a row, and then we'll go very unlikely. Bad. God, it's hard to do a closed bracket dash slash. Okay. So we've got very unlikely here now. Clash move permanently. I think I'm going to put it in very unlikely. And I think it would be good for me if it was removed. So I'm just going to leave it in good for me. Row Shattered Dream tier. Maybe I should just put it in the Copium bracket. Is Copium better than no chance? Maybe Copium's better than no chance. PVE content. Okay, I know it's a PvP announcement. I know everyone's been fired. Okay? Come on, I know everyone's been fired. It's one of these where it's like, it's a hard one. Because they did have extra stuff to do. They probably had stuff in development. They probably have a load of assets and a load of stuff. It's very weird that they released these 3 maps and that was all, right? Because I feel like a lot of this would have been doable with very little effort. And it never was actually, it was never announced that it was gone, right? It was never announced that it was no more ever again. It never has been. So it's a really difficult one to tell. Did anyone remember the actual schedule that they said for PvE? They said it was going to be 1.5 years between expansions for PvE. Do you know how long it's been since the expansion for the PvE, the first bit? It's been approximately 1.5 years. So it actually could be, because this is the schedule they said it was going to be. 1.5 years in February, exactly. So this is around the time if they were going to release it. I mean, don't get me wrong, they've been all fired, but there's a possibility they do a cash grab for some stuff. I don't know. The internal schedule was 3 missions every 18 months, and it's been 18 months. Yep. Spotlight says PvP. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be. Very unlikely. Very unlikely there. Gothenburg 2CP map. Yeah, maybe the PvE content will be used for Gothenburg and other things like that. There's definitely PvE coming in. You put it in no chance? Okay, no chance. They seem to be really clear on not wanting people to talk about PvE. Yeah, well, it's a massive failure for the company. Pure copium. Pure copium. Okay, we'll downgrade it to copium. Pickable passives. Okay, pickable passives in competitive play. Or slash a non-arcade mode for pickable passives. What do you think? Surefire? Bad? now we get to the interesting ones, right? Probably, but ugh. Do you want your game to be not readable in any way, shape, or form? They did say story missions aren't going to be continued. Maybe I missed that one. I thought it hadn't been officially announced. Maybe? It's actually a maybe, isn't it? No passives except global passives? It's a hard one, man. It's a hard one. I feel like it's going in the probably bad category. I don't think it's Surefire. But I think it's probable that they're going to do pickable passives in a bigger way. I mean, what were we thinking? We're thinking a groundbreaking change to the game, right? I mean, I'm sorry, but like, it's actually a maybe here. Sorry for the flashbang. It's actually a maybe. Incredible changes to how the game is played. Groundbreaking changes to the PvP experience. Yeah, like, it may not be the worst. Yeah, I'm just worried about the difference between different characters, I guess. Pickable passives is one of those things that come around. It mainly depends on the implementation. I dislike it as a concept, but maybe it could be done in a reasonable way. Obviously, with Blizzard, sometimes I am more pessimistic than most people. Yeah, the how it's played is the point, right? It's literally the how it's played, right? Not only are we looking at incredible changes to Blizzard, how the game is played, but then again, all their marketing seems to have something along those lines, so maybe not quite as much. Maybe it's not quite as much as you think. I haven't put on here, Blizzard releases another thing on the 11th, trying to tone down expectations for the 12th, and then releases basically nothing. I haven't put that on the tier list, right? I think that's talking about bans. I feel like it might be talking about bans. I feel like bans are very likely. Maybe we need a very likely between Surefire there. Right, talent trees. Exactly the same as pickable passives, talent trees, that type of thing in the regular gameplay. Be a massive shake-up of the actual gameplay. It would be big. It would be a groundbreaking change to the PvP experience. They got really good feedback from the talent trees. I feel like this is a direction they could go with the game. Maybe bad. Do you think it's above maybe in likelihood? I don't see talent trees being a thing. We'll bundle this in with a Kingmaker type mode, I guess. Like, I haven't put in all the different types of mode that we could have. Maybe I'll just put them in here. Kingmaker. I think it's too early for them to confirm 6v6. Yeah, they're officially testing it still, which is a really weird thing, right? Talent trees, I think that's in a maybe. I think talent trees would be a massive thing. That's pretty much the pickable passive, but like more done, like the arcade mode. Fortnite collab, maybe. Kiriko skin guaranteed. Overwatch e-dating. Okay, this is obviously going in the good category. Do you think there's going to be an e-dating mode in Overwatch? Already a thing? There already is. It's already there. Maybe they announce a wave of reworks? Well, maybe we should add to the list Reaper rework. It's not a systematic change to the PvP experience though. Overwatch becomes a dating sim. We already had the Valentine's Day experimental browser experience, yeah. Okay, October patch. Do you think October patch is coming? I think this is actually pretty likely for them to do October patch. As the end of Overwatch Classic? Not yet. Well, they if they're going to do another 6v6 test, they need to announce it soon, right? It'll be within Overwatch Classic. Maybe it'll be within Overwatch Classic. Yeah, I think that's a maybe then. I doubt it's going separate to Overwatch Classic. Pick rate based AI balancing just increases your damage by 1% or decreases it based on the win rate of the character. What they do for all the heroes that released since then? Yeah, maybe this is just a classic mode, I guess. Team up perks. Team ups in Overwatch. What do you think? It's a hard one with team ups. So they teased team ups with the Overwatch 2 announcement with Ryan and Brig. They teased it with Genji and Mei. That cinematic was all over a massive tease for this type of stuff, right? It really do be... It's a hard one. I think this would be bad. I think I've made a pretty convincing argument that team ups are a bad thing. I put my team ups argument in the Discord the other day. Nobody disagreed with me. Everyone says I was funny and cool. Pretty sure that wasn't a team up, just cool animation graphics. Yes, but it was a teaser. It's not like team ups were an unknown thing, and I feel like the people animating it would have known what they were doing. So Overwatch, it's kind of teased team ups before. Do you think they started working on team ups though? Well, that's the thing. Do you think that was a part of the PVE experience that they have already started developing? Was that something that they already had a lot of work done on that they haven't like done since? They've never mentioned it, but then again, that's one of those things that maybe they couldn't get to work directly. Maybe that was one of those things that they were experimenting with and they got a couple of things working, but they thought maybe it wouldn't work in the future. Maybe it's too much effort to do. If team ups are made to curate bad tank combos, it might be good. Yeah, so Roadhog, Sigma, Orisa, and Zarya, right? And Diva. I think there was a potential path. They were considering it in the scramble to get something worth the 2 title. Yeah, that was a potential path they were considering. I think that's a maybe, team ups. They were asking what things from Rivals they might need in the game or might be better in the game. There's a chance that they already had some development on it. I'm not sure though. I'm not 100% sure. So I'm not stuck on it. I think it's going in the bad category, but definitely less bad than talent trees. They've never done anything with it again though in arcade mode or even in things they spoke about. Do people even like team-ups in Rivals? Yes, the Rivals players like team-ups. I'm the only one that doesn't. I've never heard anyone say anything negative about team-ups apart from me. You say unlikely because none of the systems ever being shown off? Yeah, okay, fair enough. Okay, Orisa Microbuffs. That's going straight up here. There you go. Nice, easy, fast one. Don't need to think about that anymore. Cool. Netflix series. So this is a PvP change. Do you think they're going to work on a Netflix series? Castlevania's had one. They are a Copium. It's either Copium or maybe, right? Obviously, it's not going to be announced here, so I think it's Copium that's going to be announced here. It's a difficult one. I mean, they had the animations, they were so good, but they should, but they probably won't. Yeah, I feel like if the Netflix series was released like 3 months before Rivals came out, maybe they'd have some relevance right now. Revitalizing the lore would do so much for the game, give me a reason to care about the lore game, Blizzard. Yeah, it just depends how much it costs. No chance. People really don't think it's going to happen. I'd like it, but no. That's upsetting. That's upsetting. Man, no chance. I want it to happen, unlikely. Shit. 6v6 format swap. Okay, this is one of the serious ones that could be happening as a groundbreaking change to the PvP experience. Calling it groundbreaking is a little bit difficult because what is really groundbreaking when you're reverting stuff? Maybe? Do you think the format swap is coming? Maybe it's too early. You can say maybe it's too early and it's unlikely because maybe it's too early. I think the format swap is guaranteed, regardless because of the reception. I think maybe it's a little bit too early, but maybe. The question is, if we get Roadbat, the new hero, the new map, hero bans, reverting the Season 9 changes, 6v6 format swap, I can see a massive marketing push alongside dropping the Overwatch 2 branding. All of that together, if we just bundle those things in, I think they could do massive things. Surefire, no, it's not surefire that's going to be a 6v6 format swap, but I think bundling these things together do constitute a groundbreaking change to the PvP experience. So, solidly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the very reasonable thing. I'm going to put it in the Copium category. Yeah, as if, guys, as if. Oh, it's so sad, guys, isn't it? There he is. You think 6v6 being back permanently is more of a when rather than if now? Yes, I do think it's a when instead of an if. I think the queue times being fine is a massive change to the way the public has to perceive the mode. Queue times being more or less fine, even if they weren't perfect, queue times being more or less fine is massive. That is at least 50% of everyone's reason not to go with it. And I think the reception to the 6v6 format in the test was miles beyond what anyone could have imagined from the average player. With my psychosis, it's always 6v6, yeah. The demons told me it's going to be a 6v6 format swap. Where are the numbers on the 6v6 test reception? There are no numbers. That is just a dev. And don't get me wrong, I think we're going to get 6v6 results. We just have a post on Twitter of a dev saying that all the queue times were below 3 minutes on average at all times. All the 5v5ers stopped using the queue times excuse since the test. Well, they don't have many other excuses, do they? Yeah, it's a hard one. It's hard to know whether they would. Return of the defense role. This is a no chance. Get out of here. I don't know who said this. It was a terrible idea. You're stupid. One below copium. Just get out of here. That's not even copium. I will say that Marvel Rivals' reception of things are OP and it's really fun. Oh, everything's fine. May lead Blizzard to do some stupid things like this. Maybe, right? Maybe. Marvel Rivals will age poorly. Already is. Copium with no chance plus delusion. Yeah, they're not the best. They're not the best rankings, sadly. World changes are always short-term successful. Even Season 9 was short-term successful. Exactly. A massive change is always successful. I think we've also proved that with Rivals as well. Moba Mode as a fun aside to PvP, this separate mode. Very unlikely, probably bad. I don't want a massive change to the format of the game. I want the game to actually be good. Yeah, I don't think Moba's actually wanted. Here we go with the real stuff. Overwatch Mobile. A massive groundbreaking change to the PvE experience, PvP experience. We know it's in development. We know it's in development. We know, right? Unless they stop development on it. It was said that it was in development as a straight port of Overwatch. Overwatch can be played on mobile. There is no reason why it can't be. Similar to Call of Duty. It's let's be honest, the Switch is more powerful than most phones at this point. Playing Overwatch Mobile where Zim would be PvE. I don't know. I feel like it's pretty. I know they're developing it, right? I just don't know when it's coming, right? Unless they cancelled it, which I'd be happy about, by the way. I don't want a mobile player on my team. Oh god. I'm not sure if they do it in the PvP talk. Well, they did the crossplay in a PvP talk, I'm pretty sure. Crossplay was announced with other things. As one of the points, right? The PvP talk is just, hey guys, we got this exciting new crossplay feature. Mobile players can now play with you. And everyone's routinely just smashes their face into the desk over and over while it goes on. I wish it could go below maybe. It's coming. I'm going to put it in the probably category as an unfortunate reality of our world. Don't you guys have phones moment? Oh dear. Don't you guys have a 4080 to play Rivals on? Wait, you can't afford a new graphics card? I think Overwatch Mobile is good. If not for crossplay, then its own thing. Squeegee are the only one that thinks that. Mobile games are not good in general because they take development. They've already, I'll be honest, I'd rather they have finished it and the developers can go back to making actual things for the game instead of things for Overwatch Mobile. Not safe for work. Overwatch mod support. Maybe. Something with Paris. Okay, so something with Paris. Paris was teased with Ashid being on the Paris map on the screen. Maybe it has something to do with a rework for a Paris map into some sort of other mode. We've already had a map mode on here. Unlikely, but who knows? I think it's unlikely. I'd like them to do something with Paris. Obviously, it's a really pretty map. Look at it. Just turn this off. Just take in the ambience for 5 or 6 seconds. This is a lovely map, man. So pretty. New heroes from Paris, there's your connection. Ooh, maybe. It's just so pretty. No longer hiding his French heritage? Well, I hate the country. I like the map. Paris pugs better happen. I think something might happen. I'm not sure about Paris, honestly. I might even put it in maybe. I think it's a maybe for Paris. It's easy content for them. They've already got Clash of the Game mode. I mean, is it unreasonable they wouldn't have reworked those assets into a Clash map? Even Horizon Lunar Colony is pretty. Every scrap map is a tragedy. Yep. Agreed entirely. More feat skins are guaranteed. Yeah, grippers shall I put on the list? Map bans. Okay, so this goes alongside hero bans up here as a possibility, right? I think map bans are bad as an aside. I think people will generally just ban the map that's meta as being boring or other things. I think map bans reduce the diversity. Map bans plus map picks. Yep. Map voting would be bad. Well, let's just say map voting instead of just straight bans, right? Anything to do with bans or voting to do with maps. Some sort of system to do with preferentially getting maps you want or don't want. Don't see them doing map bans. It's too hurtful for the queue. Maybe, but once people are already queued in, it doesn't affect the queue, right? If it's in-map bans instead of like, I don't want to burn these maps so I can't be queued with certain people, map bans. I think 2CP is 80% spawns design issues. I think I agree with that. Yeah, and run back time. I think run back time is a massive thing for 2CP, and the amount of time it takes to load into a new map. If no one wants to play Havana, you don't have to play Havana. Win-win. Yes. The question is whether having a high ban rate on Havana will make it so that Blizzard fix Havana because there's problems on that map, or whether they won't fix it because it can be banned, right? So there's like those two effects. Either it prompts them, or they think, oh, whatever, it can be banned anyway. It's a bit problematic, but they could just ban it if they don't want it. If they think maps are problematic, they tune the rates down themselves, maybe. Makes fixing maps a lot harder since you need to convince people to give it a chance again. That's true. Yeah. Sorry, we can't do 6v6. Our new mobile audience cannot run it. There's a very good possibility that that is a consideration about 6v6, genuinely. It's quite clear that the game runs fine compared to other versions, right? Like, it's got lower performance by a little bit. They still didn't fix third point Havana, so I don't give a fuck. Willow players will never see Havana again. Easy win, yeah. They add forward defense spawns for 2CP, add more flanks to make second defense spawn further away from point. It will be fixed. Yeah, I think that's true. I think they've kind of screwed up by not putting them back into the game with reasonable changes. For instance, on Hanamura, you've got the gate, right? You've got the window. Why don't they just add a third way in through there? Why don't they just add one more way around the side? Doesn't make sense not to. And then the map would pretty much be fixed for free. Yeah, to be fair, the Switch can barely run 5v5, but they got a future-proof them for the Switch too, right? They got a future-proof it for Switch too. I think map queue would be better. I think that's more likely to be a I want these kind of things. Special stream on February the 12th. What day is February the 12th? Yeah, I'll be on if I can be. Wednesday, yeah, I'll come on for a Wednesday. We will be here on February 12th. Announced now. 2CP would be better than push and clash with those changes. Yeah, I think I agree with that. I'm just looking at this and I'm maybe, right? Maybe, guys. Maybe we're okay. Maybe it's a roadmap, a new hero, a new map, a tournament system. I can pick the things out of here that I want, right? That one, and then I'll take the revert of the changes, and then I'm like, oh god, I'm so happy, right? I'm so happy, but there's enough trash in here that I think it's going to be watered down at the very least. Do you think big influencers already know what's to come, like they were told for Overwatch Classics? There's stuff through the Discord. They probably, at this point, if you're being invited to LA, they probably want to leave it to be a surprise for when people get invited to LA. So normally they do get told beforehand, but realistically they wouldn't have been now because they would have wanted to leave it as a fun surprise. So far we have guaranteed roadmaps, new hero, new map we'll put on there. Obviously I forgot to add it, but that's fine. Orisa microbuffs are pretty much guaranteed. There's nothing in Surefire at the moment. The probablys are hero bans, tournament system, map bans. I feel like these are probably pretty likely to be included in some way, shape, or form. Obviously, we're getting groundbreaking changes to the PvP format. Pickable Passive and Overwatch Mobile, they are likely to come in. I'm not happy about them being likely to come in. Overwatch Mobile is coming at some point, as far as I know, unless they start development of it. Maybe reverting Season 9 changes, something to do with the Paris map. The bad portion is talent trees. I don't really want them in the game, but whatever. Then we've got the unlikely ones, clan system, dropping the Overwatch 2 branding, re-releasing the Overwatch 1 last patch. That's obviously for the classic mode. Team up perks are unlikely, that are bad. Then we have Moba Mode, and then in the no chance we have Netflix series, sadly. Third person mode, return the defense role. And then Copium is Clash being removed, PVE content, Overwatch e-dating, and 6v6 format swap. Those are firmly in the Copium category. Right, Workshop Revival. We're going to put that directly in the Copium category. Good fucking luck getting free developers to make infinite content for you. Blizzard apparently aren't that smart. I don't think it's going to be happening. I think it's very unlikely. I think it's Copium, but I think it's very unlikely, right? It's so hard because it's just not very expensive, but I know what's happened is they fired the devs, so in order to get new people up to date, they'd have to spend a lot of money getting them to the point where they can develop it, if you get what I mean. They briefly showed a banner thing for Overwatch 2 alongside Weapon Inspect, but we never got to see it again. Yeah, it's interesting that they did all the work for them. I feel like Overwatch is just this infinite well of work that's just done and then redone and then recovered and recovered, and then it ends up that basically nothing ever happens because they're spinning their wheels and doing nothing. Which is a bit sad, but that seems like the reality of our life. So Workshop Revival, it would be costly to revive it, but after it's being maintained, it wouldn't be that costly, as long as you just don't fire the people that are maintaining it. The problem is, I'm pretty sure what happened is Aaron got told to fire this percentage of his staff. And unfortunately, the people that went were the people that were least necessary to making the core product, because that's just what happens. I don't think Aaron probably got much of a choice in the layoffs after the PVE got cancelled, which really sucks. It really sucks, but I don't know. Is it possible? I'm not sold on whether it's actually possible or not. It's a hard one. Turn that up. Not sure how cosmetics like that could be implemented on all platforms. PC gets more buttons to assign to things. Yeah, I guess you just put it on another ping on the scroll wheel, right? When you have the radial wheel. That's how most consoles fix things. So Workshop Revival, I wish. I bloody wish, right? I bloody wish. It's not going to happen though, realistically. Multi-queue for different game modes. So this was brought up by a couple of people. When you say multi-queue, do you mean like I'm going to queue for comp and I'm going to queue for something else? What happens if that's something else for the lower queue for comp? Do you ever get into comp? They already have the while in queue thing. I don't know how you think this would work. Random, defend yourself. Is groundbreaking purely marketing speak, or do they mean it this time? Well, we're going to have to find out, aren't we? I will say it is pretty much their standard language for when they don't do things. I don't know if it's misleading this time or not. Obviously, it's marketing speak regardless. Like, I'm not saying it's not, but still, right? Multi-queue, random defend yourself, multiple quick play modes, not for quick play and comp, or quick play plus arcade. I don't think it would change that much about the game. There's certainly a possibility of it happening, but I don't think it changed that much. Being able to queue for specific modes, like if you're in a Clash Enjoyer, you can queue only Clash. Queuing only Clash. What, like you came directly out the asylum and haven't took your pills all day? You go through mental health support, withdrawals, and you want to queue for Clash? Yep. Bob Ross, you're right. Or you love cognitive behavioral therapy. That is something that helps with your mental. I'm leaving it in the maybe. Right, Min 1 Max 3 comp, right? I feel like this is going in unlikely. The reception for Min 1 Max 3 has been pretty damn terrible, if I can say so myself. I think it's been, like, I don't think it goes any higher. I think it's just been referred to as worse 222. I don't think anyone actually likes it. It's always interesting to me, the open queue arguments, because the open queue argument of, oh, we can have all these interesting comps, and then you do Win 1 Max 3, and it turns out that the only interesting comp you actually want to play is triple DPS, because everything else is really annoying to be able to play, right? Playing triple tank, playing against that's boring. Playing triple support, playing against that boring. All the people that are arguing for open queue really are arguing for is being able to play more DPS, for the most part, because that doesn't cause, like, problems with itself. And I just don't think games actually are very interesting with more DPS, if you get what I mean. The only problem to fix seems to be trying to make it, and the creative. You can go out with creative strategies if you allow 3 tanks or 3 supports, and I'm like, well, we know what the creative strategies are. It's not like anything new's going to come out of the woodwork, right? It's not like we're not new to the scene here. We know the creative strategies are going to be sustain and tank presence. Like, that's it. Watch paint dry. Yeah, sitting at the table like he's on a date with chap. I could even reach across and hold your hand. Alfie, come, give me a hand. Come. Paris, the 2CP map of love. Yep. It's so pretty though. I turned it off a second ago. Look how pretty that is, man. My hand go through the table. I don't have the technology quite yet. Bringing back 2CP should be on the list. That's not a groundbreaking change. I'll put it on the list. Snip. Snippy snoppers. My 1-2-3 spam is what I'm looking for. Don't look at my where's my 1-2-3 spam? I saved it. Desktop. Says it already exists. There you go. Found it. Okay, party frames. They were making party frames. They said they were doing it, and then it vanished off the face of the earth. Does anyone know what happened? Did they ever release anything about party frames? And by that, I mean the things on the side to show you, like, what characters are there. I feel like this is pretty likely. I don't know about you guys, but it fell off the face of the earth. They trialed it in Kingmaker. Did it go well in Kingmaker? I didn't even play with Kingmaker party frames. I didn't even know it got introduced to the game. So if it's already been done, it's probably going in probably, but it's a big give to console players and mobile, isn't it? Right? It really is a big concession to those. I don't think it would be good. I don't like it, but I can see it being implemented. Yeah, I think people that argue for these type of things fail to realize that... Let's just turn that down. I think people that argue about these type of things fail to realize that knowledge acquisition in these games really changes the gameplay loop in a substantial way. It's like if you took the mini-map away from an RTS game, it would completely and utterly change the game because the knowledge acquisition just isn't there in the same way, because that's the skill you need to learn. So, no, it can't be an option, Camaria. It can't be an option because it would always be better to have it on. So it would be default in all competitive modes. Maybe in quick play you can have it so that some people have it and some people don't. But realistically, most people just turn it on because it's strictly better. Doesn't really provide me any value as a tank player. The classic tank player. Oh yeah, I don't care about my teams. Don't you need to know what they're doing? I just don't turn on the frames. It'd be like having an ammo count option. Exactly. Yeah. It's like how quite a lot of games add a timer to themselves when people would be timing them anyway, so like from outside sources. It completely changes the way people interact with the game. I don't think it's a good thing. I think it may be, I think it's probably a maybe. Yeah, nobody will choose not to have the additional info. They have to have the additional info if it's a possibility. I think it goes in the maybe. Certainly possible of them doing it. I don't think it's a groundbreaking change apart from alongside everything else. The trouble is, we know this change is going to be a mix of a load of these things, right? We know it's going to be a mix, so saying exactly what it is, it's hard. Venture Legendary skin, that's in Copium, and it's bad. Nobody's going to make a Venture Legendary skin. Jeff's just going to keep teasing Venture players forever. As a Bull player, I only actually care about the health of the enemy backline. My team do not matter. Just makes the game easier in an uninteresting way. Yes, I think I agree with that, though it does decrease the skill floor to get into the game. Look at the bag category and mix them together, that's what we're getting. Yep, we'll separate them out at the end. Change of content schedule. So I'm going to say change of content schedule. Currently, we're on 3 heroes, 3 maps. I think that realistically, the most they'd ever do is up this to 4, right? I don't think this would ever go any higher than 4. But in terms of the change to the schedule, what else can they do in terms of the change? Can they have regularly scheduled releases of lore type stuff? I think that's going to be a hard sell given they fired all the people. What could they do as a regular content schedule? Apart from if this is bunged into a tournament system, right? Maybe that could be seen as a regular content schedule change. I think it's a hard one for regular content schedule changes. Can they make more? I don't think they can. I just don't think they can, so I'm going to put it in very unlikely. And that kind of sucks, right? That kind of sucks, but for the quantity over quality, and they can't compete with Rival's schedule anyway. Yes, I always said that Blizzard should have a curated product that is significantly better than Rival's product. And I think they already do. I think people just don't know it because they have such bad reputation. Pickable Passives, Overwatch Mobile, party frames, team up abilities with Kingmaker on top of it. Can we go through the list at the end and decide which of these are groundbreaking? Yes. I can't believe that they can't recognize the investment of Workshop. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's absolutely insane to me that they can't recognize it. They should have like promotion things for certain Workshop modes. I remember going, anyone play Halo Forged on Xbox 360? Halo 3 Forged mode? I remember an infected mode, a stick the car mode, a crusher mode where you use the things to shove things down to try and kill people in a like tube, and you have to try like take cover behind the things when you're in the tube. Oh, it's so fun, man. It's so damn fun. It was so good. Halo Forge was incredible. I don't think Overwatch has the tools to be able to do that because they got their own engine. I don't think there is a way for them to do that, or at least to be that customizable. I think that would take a lot of work, but at some point, basic support for the Workshop is a no-brainer and always has been a no-brainer. What if they put PVE elements into PvP somehow? Well, yeah, we've got the talent trees and pickable passives there. Literally free development for 1 to 2 people's salaries. As I said, I think it's one of those where it will require a little bit more input than we think because they've already fired the people and the new people would have to pick up the work and work out what to do. You need kind of like a senior level person to kind of like decipher whatever the last person did with the code. And that would be more expensive to start. But once the person's trained in order to actually get it working, I don't think it would be that expensive. Like steady state is cheap. Making something is expensive. I think that's pretty true. Kingmaker into competitive mode. I think that's a probably. I don't like it, but I think it's a probably. Kingmaker had medium reception from people. People weren't overtly negative to it. It means so they don't have to change back to 6v6. It's also interesting to me that they made Kingmaker without individual passive for the individual heroes, so they could think that they haven't tested it properly and could put it in regardless. Yeah, it is one of the things you said before. I'm worried. I think it's going to be there. Kiriko skins, guaranteed, straight up to the top. Moira rework, that is no chance whatsoever. Reaper rework, no chance whatsoever. I think they're done with these two. I don't know if anyone else agrees with this. I think they're just done. They decreased Reaper spread that one time, and he was stable, and then they were like, we don't have to rework him, and they were done. Moira, I don't think Moira is problematic enough to rework in the first place. I never really cared about Moira too much. Kingmaker was so bad you couldn't swap roles, so you waited for people to pick, then go, okay, I'll play support, but since we already have Zen, yeah. It was really bad. Kingmaker needs individual changes for individual heroes, and that is a really rough thing to be able to do. It basically requires pickable talents that are adaptable for every single hero. It could be a Kingmaker with you choose your talent type thing. It could be there's ways to do it, but I don't think there's ways to do it well. I think it would just be a mess regardless. Bring back 2CP. Do we think they're going to bring back 2CP? I would like them to. I think it's in a maybe good category. Okay, so reduce the run back by 50% from every single point for first point. Reduce the start time by 50%, so it's 30 seconds instead of 1 minute. Make it so you get a speed boost going out of spawn, so it feels like you're coming back faster. I actually don't think it's that hard. And then just make it flow a lot better. The problem with 2CP is it doesn't flow in any way, shape, or form. It's not the individual maps. I don't think the individual maps are problematic. I think doing them a couple of times might be problematic, but they could make it a bit more of a popcorn type mode where it's... And that's not that much more work, I'm going to be honest. It's actually not that much more work. They just need to make one more spawn room on every single map, and that's basically it. It's free. I'd like to see Horizon come back in some form, just for the lore. Yeah, instead of changing the spawn, they could just put the speed boost there. Yeah, I love Horizon. Horizon's absolutely wonderful. Unfortunately, I've seen way too much of Horizon recently in my life. 6v6 results blog. I think that's unlikely for this one, but probably going to be coming soon. And then this one here, I think shutting down the servers is going in copium. It would be a good form of copium. Bring back Horizon moving crane. Exactly, yeah. So, I think my predictions, right? My predictions are best case scenario, right? The best it could be, right? New hero, roadmap, hero bans maybe, map bans maybe, I don't particularly care. Tournament system, revert the Season 9 changes, clan system, drop the Overwatch 2 branding, 6v6 results blog, right? That's the best case scenario in my opinion. I think that's the best we could get. Can you put movement acceleration on here? Oh, I do not think they touch it. They could, but I don't think it would reasonably affect anything in a positive way. Actually, movement acceleration would be one of those things they could tout as something interesting. I mean, changing anything that's big is something that will bring people back regardless. But then people will just come back in and say the movement feels like ass because they use the other movement. Worst realistic case scenario? Realistic case. Hero bans, map bans. I think that's... Together, they would reduce the quality of the game, not in a substantially bad way, but they could. Overwatch Mobile, I think, is a reasonable thing that might happen. Like, I do think Overwatch Mobile is pretty reasonable. I think party frames are something that they could do. Talent trees are something that they could do. Team up perks, I think it's unlikely, but I think they could do it. There's a lot of things here that could be really problematic. Is there anything down here? I think all the things down here are so unlikely that there's no real chance of it happening. 6v6 format swap. My realistic place for 6v6 format swap is there in the probably category. Drop the Overwatch 2. No, that's all the way down there. Drop Overwatch 2 branding. Right? Make a tournament system, make a clan system, revert the Season 9 changes, go back to 6v6, and then, do you know what? Just, like, add in something fun like team-up perks. I don't even care if they add that as an extra thing on top. I'd be sold. That's enough good things for me. I don't think there will be enough good things. Let's just delete these two. Let's go good and bad. I'm just nervous, man. Now we have our good tier list, our bad tier list. So this is the good tier list. There's so many things on here that just... Yeah, I just don't think it's very likely. Just give me some of this, right? Just give me some of this, right? Please give me a Netflix series. I think the Netflix series would be a good enough. It's just a PvP change though, so I think the most realistic. Okay, the most realistic one for me is reverting Season 9 changes. I think they have got 3/4 of the way there already. Obviously, the roadmap's coming in. I think map bans and hero bans is the most realistic, that they'll do both of them because they're just going to copy rivals. I don't think 6v6 format swap is actually going to be able to happen. Overwatch Mobile, I think they're going to announce. I don't think there's anything else on here I actually want to say. I think that's just it. Praying for lore. Praying for the lore team to actually not be fired. Move to 3DP to accommodate the mobile players. I think it's going to be a mobile announcement. Let's put it on. Imagine seeing people play Overwatch on their phones and yelling at their teammates in public. It's the type of thing a person in a suit likely would think that people want, right? I have become infinitely more nervous since starting that tier list.